How's it going, guys? Welcome to The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I'm here with Danny and Trevor again, and we're going to be having a conversation that's going to be a little fun today. I have a great question for the both of you. If you had a superpower, what would it be? Trevor? This better get deep. I know you're into this shit, so.
You're really into this shit.
I'm going to just start out very slow.
Build this up.
Oh, yeah. Set the mood, you know?
It was a warm morning.
No, but I definitely think about this a lot. I always toss and turn at night when I'm trying to fall asleep, but I always fall back to my bread and butter of wanting to be invisible.
Invisible?
Having the power of invisibility. But to be able to turn it off and on. I would hate to just only be invisible. That would just suck.
He just
don't want to be the redheaded stepchild that nobody notices.
He just wants to watch dudes do things. That's what he wants to do.
We'll get into that a little bit. Yeah, we're going to pause on that. You don't get to rebuttal.
That is the first thing that pops into my mind when invisibility comes in.
No rebuttal, Trevor. Sorry. All right, Danny, what was yours?
Mine would be the ability to read minds. I would like to know.
So
I'd be able
dirty
to.
thoughts
I'd
like
want to
that.
be able.
Fucking
I know, but I'd like to know like what people are thinking. I want to be able to turn it on and off because obviously sometimes you want to keep things private.
I don't think that's okay. I don't think that's part of it. You can't do that.
Yeah, you have to control you have to build up that muscle.
Okay,
and be able
good.
to factor it out.
But I want to be able to read minds. That's a superpower I want. Comic books are wide open. You can do whatever you want.
So original, Professor X over here. I mean, come on.
No, that's what I want. I want that because I would be rich as
Calm
fuck.
down, invisible girl. Relax.
Invisible girl. What?
All right. I think mine would be... So, at Fuddruckers, that's one of the interview questions that we do. So
I didn't get that.
You didn't get that?
No.
Oh, because you were hired before you were hired, so it didn't really matter.
Do you really ask that in interviews?
Yeah. I go with the basics,
awesome.
like who do you want to be, or where do you want
Did you have a situation in your last job where you were wrong and they were right? And how did you handle that?
Yeah, that's one of them. And then it goes straight into, if you had a superpower, what would it be?
Sounds like Sheldon. Like you're Sheldon in the Big Bang Theory.
It's fantastic. Mine would be teleportation. Which is just convenient. There's no real
Like
other
jumper?
answer. Yeah. To be able to, yeah. Because
like long distances?
Any distance is just there.
Would you have to visualize the place that you're jumping to?
Oh God, I would. Yeah, so like in the movie Jumper, doesn't he have to have like a picture?
He
of
has
it
to have
or
like
something?
a memory of that place.
Oh, a memory, not just a picture. Because didn't he just like he looked at a part on like the fridge?
I think
and,
he
like,
was
saw a
there
postcard?
though, wasn't he?
Oh yeah, it was a postcard. Like he visited or
Yeah.
something like that.
I don't know. I haven't seen that movie in forever. But we're talking about your power.
Yeah,
so
no,
I'm trying to correlate with that.
I would just. I mean, I should be able to just think about where I want to be and poof, I'm there. I probably wouldn't use it to travel that much. I mean, I don't travel as much now, so I don't know why I would travel.
Why wouldn't you though? If you can go anywhere at any moment,
I think the bigger question would be, can I take people with me?
No.
it's your power.
Yeah, no. So I mean,
They might rip apart. If you teleport, you might rip them apart.
Yeah,
I
what
don't
if
think
it's
people are
part of
meant
like
to.
your intestinal integrity, but
well,
not
that's what
for
I'm saying.
theirs?
Like, that's what I'm saying. I don't know.
What if like the one caveat to teleporting was like you shit your pants? Like that's the one thing. Like I can teleport anywhere, but my intestines just don't keep up with me when I teleport.
Oh, that would make things interesting. Yeah, no.
You could never go to like a big city like New
Just
York
land right
City.
in Times Square, just a fucking.
You would just you would have to teleport to a porta potty in New York. You'd have to be specific.
You have to
bring a
change
pair
your
of pants.
clothes. Yeah.
We're so practical. We're instantly thinking of what we're going to change it to.
That's a great question. I don't know if I would still want to use my superpower or not. I guess you would only, and that'd be like a safe way of making sure that you don't use it for evil, because you're not gonna fucking rob a bank and end up in the bank fucking with your pants fucking.
Well, what if
brown.
like your caveat, Trevor, was like you could never be invisible around a woman? That would be horrible.
Well, that I would never be able to do it then, because what I would use it for is completely evil. I'd be like robbing people and shit.
Oh God,
I'd be that.
you'd be that guy.
It'd be like
Who's touching my butt right now?
Well, we clearly know who's the bad and the good, the bad, the ugly.
I think it's finally
Jesus.
coming out now.
well, it's just like if they gave you a freaking lightsaber, what would you use it for, good or evil? I'd use that shit for evil all day.
I'd use it to probably impress my girlfriend. Hey,
Is that technically
Your
evil
cool
though?
lightsaber
Yeah,
tricks or what?
check this out.
Oh, my hand!
Look how big it gets.
Careful, don't touch it. You might burn yourself.
Jackie is shaking her head right now and ignoring you.
Yes, she is. She's tuning out this
So, Trevor,
conversation.
what made you land on invisibility
It's just, I don't know, it just seems kind of cool. Something. I mean, we all
other
kind of
than evil?
have that sense of not feeling like we're a part of society and everything. So I feel like being invisible kind of
He wants to be a
enhance it.
fly on the wall. That's what he wants to be. He wants to be in the room for those conversations.
Yeah, calm down, mister. I want to read minds. So do you.
Yeah.
You want to be
You
in
took
the
it to a whole
conversation.
new level.
Yeah, you want to take it deeper. You want to know exactly
I would
what
run
people
every
are thinking.
business. It'd be like the limitless pill without the side effects.
But if I could choose another power, not to add on to it because that's just getting ridiculous.
Greedy.
Yeah, but if we had to pick, like, all right, what's your second choice?
Your left click. Yeah.
I want to be able to freeze time.
Freeze time?
I think
But you can move around, but everybody else is
Yes.
frozen?
So like
Exactly.
a Quicksilver.
Oh,
type
because
thing,
freezing time and not being able to move would be very pointless. Like that
Give yourself a split second to think through things. Like, Iris has got me trapped in this conversation. I need to think of something. Pause.
I'm pregnant. It's yours.
Clearly, I know when this idea popped up.
oh.
This is senior year, Trevor. I want to be able to freeze time. That's too funny. Danny?
My secondary power?
Now I want to talk more about this reading minds
Oh,
thing. Why do
reading
you want to? Why do you want to be able to know what people think?
I've always been totally feeling like I can't measure up to what people think. No, that's it. It's not
Oh,
that
so I'm
deep.
like, man,
it's not
that's
that
deep.
It's not that deep and dark. No, what it is I'd like to know like how I come off in certain scenarios. I'm super like, what's the word I'm looking for? The
Nosy.
word No. The word I'm looking for is like I don't feel like I measure up or like I feel inadequate. That's what it is. I feel inadequate. That's
So
the
you're pretty
issue.
hard on yourself.
That's deeper,
then.
isn't it?
Yeah, I was looking straight at
Everyone
Jack.
just looked at Jackie right now.
She's like, you're right, you're not.
But I get that feeling like when I'm in like a job interview or like, you know, like getting,
I thought you were super
I'm
confident.
super
John.
confident, but I'm always super worried. Like I might nail the job interview. The guy might be like, hey, you can marry my daughter. You know, like that's how good the job interview went. But like, no,
It's just gonna
inside, I'm still going, shit, maybe he fucking hates me. Maybe he was just lying.
I
You
can
know,
see
like
that.
I hate that. So I'd like to be able to read minds and know how things are going. So then I could change my tact up a little bit. If this dude's like, this dude's a square, I'll be like, listen, homie, we got this. And he'll be like, oh, this guy's got a certain little panache.
Did you
He's
just
got a
use the
little,
word homie to make yourself not square?
pretty much.
Nice.
So you see where my deep source of inadequacy comes from. We're talking about superpowers, and I said homie.
Yep, this
So
is good.
you know,
Unless he
I'm a
says,
catch. I'm a
Unless he
catch.
says this homie ain't gonna get the job, you're like, listen here, homie.
It's like those commercials where the guy goes in for the job interview and everybody's got or the owner has like a shaved
Yeah,
head.
that razor commercial.
Yeah, so he goes in and shaves his head.
Yeah, and they're all like this square, and then the pictures above them.
Oh, all right. So you want to be able to know what to say
I would-
before you have to say it.
I would not be as evil as Trevor. I would not be as bad as Trevor with it, but I would definitely use it for my own advantages. If I could read minds, I would know, you know, what the odds are going to be on a certain, you know, betting thing. I would know, you know, what stock to choose if I could read the guy's mind on who's going to sell or buy. I mean, I would do that kind of stuff. I'd get rich off of it for sure.
So is that technically evil, though?
Yeah, it really is. There's no.
It's
nice
more
way of
ugly
putting
than
it.
evil, I
No,
would
it's
say.
very evil.
No.
But I wouldn't hurt people with it. That's my thing.
You know, in every superhero movie, the villains always think that they're doing the right thing. So what you're saying is the exact like definition of evil.
That's a good point.
That is true.
Face.
I'm not going out to hurt people, though.
I didn't say I was gonna hurt people.
I'm gonna use this for evil.
I'm accepting it.
You
Kinda
did the
sounded like
laugh.
you were going to touch
You
people
did-
inappropriately.
That's you guys said.
Oh right, yeah. That was,
If I couldn't be around girls, I wouldn't even use it. I mean,
Well,
What a
how
waste
can I
of-
control? How can I control it then?
You wouldn't have
There's
any
women
control.
everywhere.
That would when the gods gave you
why
that
am I
gift.
shitting myself when I teleport? Nobody knows.
That's him. Danny's throwing it all.
I
the
think
shit.
outside the box.
Yeah, you're
I
not-
always think there should be some caveat to powers, though, right?
He'd be like
there
a
should be
Marvel
like-
writer for
There
sure.
should be something like Superman's got his kryptonite, right? I don't even know why I use
They
Superman.
made
God,
that like
I hate him as a
they made
character.
like 30 years after. They're like, all right, he's kicking everybody's ass.
Exactly.
We need something. to
But you
stop
need
this
something. So if Noel teleports, he's got to shit himself. I mean, that's
guy. No, I don't. That's bullshit. I would not want
wet
that.
yourself. I don't know.
I don't know. Mine seems kind of lame now compared to your guys. You get to do all this fun stuff like teleporting. I mean,
Here's the thing:
Teleporting is a really good
if
one.
we all work
it's better
as a
than flying.
team,
I hate so when I do interviews. Anybody that's listening that might come in for a job interview, don't say flying because that's just boring as fuck.
birds fly.
Yeah,
it's
bird
so
boring as
cliche.
get on a plane.
So cliche.
Yeah, I don't want that. At least teleporting, like I'm there really quickly. I don't wanna
If
fly
one of
there.
them says teleporting when they shit their pants, that means they listen to the podcast.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Instantly hired.
Win.
But not dealing with food, you're going to be on cash.
I
Best boy, bitch.
I have like the super strength one. That's always a good one.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be able to pick up cars?
I feel like that one's kind of cliche though too. I feel like flying and
but
super
it's such a
strength
good
are-
one. I mean, think about it.
Well, isn't flying technically a good one too?
No, because it's boring.
It's very boring.
Just because it's boring doesn't mean it's not good.
Yeah, what are you gonna
planes
do with that,
fly, rockets fly, birds fly.
though? No, super strength. You could, like save people.
Ants are super strong, so you want to be like an ant?
Ant-Man. It's a thing.
It's kind of a gay one though.
Whatever, dude. His movie is fantastic.
It's just like
and-
all the other Marvel movies. It's not fantastic.
And by
No rebuttal. See, you know it's true.
And by gay, he means not offensive to gays. And you know, as we get into, as we get into genders next episode.
I say that in a loving way.
So, Trevor, do you honestly think you would use it for evil?
Oh yes, without a doubt.
That
power
kinda
corrupts.
worries me.
Power corrupts. It does.
Absolutely. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely, right? How could you not use it to gain money or anything? I mean, Danny said he'd use it, for his own good.
Yeah.
How could you use that to benefit others? How could you use that power?
You definitely could use my power to benefit others. If I knew that someone was going to get kicked out of the house, I could go to them and say, "Hey, your tenant, I read his mind and said he's going to kick you out of your house.
There's so much deeper
Pay
than
your
that.
bills."
You get that girl that freaking gets molested and shit, doesn't want to talk about it. He'd know about it before anybody else.
See, I
He would
feel like
help
with
people.
mine, there'd be a lot of guilt, though. There'd be a lot of things like, "Oh, fuck, I know that he's getting cheated on." And
You'd have to hold a lot of stuff in.
yeah.
Could you
That's what I
burden,
mean. I would
could
wanna
you
turn it
burden
on and off.
yourself with that information?
Isn't that the whole point of
You know, with
having
great power comes
Thank
great
you.
responsibility.
I don't think we're allowed to say that anymore. I mean, every
Copyright?
Spider-Man after the original series cannot say that for some reason.
Wow.
I'm just saying, if you're going to take on a superpower, you have to take on the responsibility. You can't just be evil. It's just fucked up, Trev. I would be the hero to your villain.
That's fine.
I don't know what good I would be teleporting, but
I'm here. God damn it! Wear a diaper.
okay.
I'm never going to see any
Teleporting does not involve shitting myself.
I'm never going to watch a teleporting movie again without thinking of him shitting his
Does
pants.
Nightcrawler shit himself when he teleports?
Oh, yes, he's totally
He's just
does.
blue.
Oh.
What? All right. What if, in order to be able to teleport, you have to look like the devil?
Yeah, I'd be cool with that. That's fine.
But,
But
He's
I'd be a
got the
good
beard
devil.
already. I mean,
Yeah, but
are you saying that beards are inherently evil?
they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
this is just coming from one that's not allowed to have a beard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be jealous.
I'm reading your minds right now, and it's not good.
In theory,
So I'm murdering you in mine.
He's so bad.
He's
He's,
the
the,
villain.
bad. He's the bad.
he is the bad. Yeah.
I'd rather be bad than
I'm
ugly.
shocked. Really, I'm not okay. I'm not shocked. I've known you a
Come
very long
on.
time. This is not new to me.
In
I
Pokemon
just
Go, I was Valor. I mean, come on.
I just thought, yeah, that's true. I thought that you maybe turned a new leaf. You got kids now. You just trying to be a good person. Apparently not.
I was.
The truth comes out when
I was
superpowers
steal
show up.
money to better my family situation. Boom. I was doing it for my family. So it's
And-
good to my evil.
And we talked about
Like every
time
villain,
travel.
like you said. They're always trying.
I'm
to,
accepting
Yeah.
it though. I'm grasping.
Yeah.
doesn't make any difference.
We talked about
At
time
least I'm
travel.
not like, oh, I'm not evil.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's that.
Would we all go back and use time travel to our advantage in like betting on the Super Bowl and making a shit ton of money? And as Trevor said, you know, putting his name on every famous thing that's come out. Oh, who wrote Imagine? Oh, Trevor did.
Lugal.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to think that I wouldn't.
I totally would.
Yeah, because you're horrible. Apparently,
I-
I wouldn't do it.
I say it with a
you
smile
know.
on my face.
Maybe I'm just in denial. Maybe I just haven't accepted it. Maybe I would. I just don't know it yet.
So we kind of talked about, you said that your superpower you don't like is flying. If someone says flying, that's like a no.
I just don't- yeah, I'm not a fan.
Are there any superpowers that you see that you're just like, "Ah, that's so pointless and so lame, or that you see a flaw in? Because I have one. X-ray vision. X-ray vision, you're going to see bones. In every superhero movie, oh, X-ray glasses, X-ray vision, whatever it is, they see under clothes. It's like, no, if you had X-ray vision, you would see bones and organs. It'd be just like an X-ray. So I
Well,
hate when they do that.
What Superman does, I mean, can he control it? He can control how much X-ray vision he uses, type thing.
Well, what other word would you associate that type of vision? though?
See-through vision.
See-through clothes vision.
They wrote this back in the 20s. They're not thinking about the millennials degrading their creation.
Those Tinder kids. Out there looking for the nudes with a Z.
Yeah, no, it's just like anything else. It'd just be like your mind reading. Like you want to be able to control how much that you can actually hear or listen to. It would be the same thing as X-ray vision. Doesn't X-ray? I mean, I get your point, but I think you're being a little
It's a
nitpicky.
flaw. Is that one of Superman's powers?
X-ray vision?
vision?
Yeah, there's like I don't know.
He
what that
has
guy-
every power
I
imaginable.
cannot stand Superman.
He's the powers of all the powers.
I cannot tell you how much I cannot stand Superman.
Why?
He's so boring.
He's the greatest.
He's so boring.
How is he born?
He's vanilla.
Ugh.
Ooh, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
It's
Vanilla?
just. I think the reason why is just because he's
If anything,
quote
he's
unquote.
Neapolitan. He has it all.
He's unrelatable.
He's unreal. Exactly. That's what it is. Like, he
That's-
does
that's
not
his-
appeal to me.
That's
at
his
all.
one argument because
He's an alien. He's not supposed to be relatable.
But
Someone like
the people,
Superman.
who do people love the most in superheroes?
The rich guy.
No,
Every
no, no.
guy who's got a character flaw.
Batman and Spider-Man, those are the two biggest heroes. Why? Because they're super relatable.
Because their parents died.
No.
No, it's because they're super relatable. Batman doesn't even have superpowers.
How is Batman relatable? He's super rich.
That's attainable. It's attainable to become Batman because he has no powers. Spider-Man's very realistic because he's a teenager. We were all teenagers. We all went through those flaws of being
not
a teenager.
one of you is going to get bit by a spider. And
I'm
turn
not
into a
saying
web-slinging
that.
Superhero.
I'm not saying
Just
that at all.
throwing that
Better
out there
chance
right
of that happening than being Superman.
That's a good point.
Truth. Preach, brother. Preach.
I don't know, man. Ant-Man is probably the most relatable. He just has a suit on that makes him do all this stuff. Somebody created this suit to make him be able to do all this stuff. He's literally me or you
His-
inside of a suit.
His organs are so taxed from shrinking and growing up, and
It's
dude,
the
that
suit,
guy's
though.
life expectancy. I don't care. He's still got to get that small.
Yeah, his body still has to withstand that. So who's to say that he can? Don't you have to do blood tests on people to make sure that they can even achieve that?
Did they do that with Ant-Man?
I don't know.
I don't know. I watched the movie and then he just got into the suit and started doing this shit. There was big.
If we're going
cutscenes.
realistic
I know.
here.
I know what my second superpower is, though. I want to have a body like The Rock's. That's my second superpower.
That's the lowest.
Like
you're gonna
Dwayne
go?
the Rock Johnson.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dwayne
yeah,
The Rock
that's a good one.
Johnson. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I want. I want that. That's my second super. I don't watch a lot of superhero movies. Can you tell? I just want to read minds and have a body like The Rock. I'm good. Set. Is that relatable? That's relatable, right?
I think so.
No, if you could have a second power, not adding on to your jumper status, but
So it's tough. I mean, there's a lot of cool ones out there. The ability to control elements would be cool, like fire.
Like Storm. He wants to be Storm.
would you only be able to control fire and that's it?
I don't know. Is there
Like-
limitations to it?
That's what I'm asking you.
I mean, no. I want to be like.
Do you want to be like
Airbender.
Avatar?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, be able to
Avatar and
control
Just do it all.
the anime, not the movie.
Yeah.
Avatar.
Yeah. No,
Just-
yeah, that'd be cool.
People
I mean,
are thinking the blue people, and they're like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
I've always thought it'd be cool.
Plug
yeah,
into trees.
Yeah.
Gay.
There you go.
Captain Planet over here.
Just two strikes. Two strikes for Trevor. Once
Oh,
again,
God, man.
disclaimer:
We're gonna
gay
have to
does not
delete
mean
this whole
bad.
Podcast. Oh man. Danny, you don't watch a lot of superhero stuff.
I really don't. I kind of gave up.
Why?
It's just there's too many now.
There's
It's so
Is
ridiculous.
it watered down for you?
Yeah.
very diluted.
It was really fun when they first started coming out. I stayed up on them. I watched the Iron Mans. Like when they came out, I watched the first Captain America, the first Thor. I watched all those when they first came out. And then it just was like, oh,
But we
there's
know
just
you
a
didn't watch
million.
Superman Returns
No, did not. Nothing with Superman.
or
I'm
Man
not-
of Steel.
I didn't even watch the Superman Batman. There's no appeal for me to watch that. And then
So
throw
you're-
Ben Affleck into the equation. I'm like,
It sounds like you're a Marvel fanboy from what I'm listening to.
I-
You listed all the Marvel movies.
I like Batman. He's my favorite. I like Batman. And if I'm looking at Marvel, my favorite is Thor. Thor is my favorite because he's a god. He's a god. No one else is a god.
That's a good
Wonder
point.
Woman is.
Wonder
Is she a
Woman.
god? Got
It's
it.
DC.
They're
Yeah.
all gods.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest here.
Yeah.
No, but that makes sense.
But
Thor,
I mean,
yeah, for sure.
I just like mythology,
Makes
so
sense.
that's really, really cool that there's a god in superheroes.
and I mean, it's Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he is fucking got that body. That's number 2. If I don't have the Rock's body, I got Chris Hemsworth's body. I want the Rock's body with Chris Hemsworth's hair. Let's just go with that.
Well, the new Thor, he doesn't have the hair anymore.
That's why I haven't watched it yet.
Well, it's
Can't
not
watch
out
it.
yet. It's not out
okay,
yet,
I'm
so.
not watching it.
Just still watching.
No.
The superhero things. That I don't. It's all trendy now. So that's all that's coming out. It's like when James Bond was the big thing. There was fucking how many James Bond movies did they end up fucking making?
There's at least 25.
At least.
Those came out, what, like the 60s originally?
Started. The biggest was, I think, when James Bond really bottomed out was the 70s were still fine because people were like, oh, it's an action movie and we don't have a lot to do in the 70s, you know? So it's like, okay. We don't have video games and social media to, block our minds up. Oh, we got movies. But like once it got to the 90s and Pierce Brosnan started making like he made one good one. GoldenEye was good, and then after that it was just like, oh god, this is just awful. Guys getting facial reconstruction surgery and like, oh, don't even get me started. Those are technically superhero movies. I mean, James Bond should be dead after the first one.
Wasn't every action movie?
Yeah,
for that?
that's true.
Indiana Jones.
Don't even
Missed
get me started
every
on
bullet.
Fast and the Furious. Oh my gosh.
Hey, no, too soon. I don't even want to talk about Fast.
We're
and
not
Furious.
talking about Paul Walker.
You can't not talk about Paul Walker when you're talking about Fast and Furious. They go hand in hand.
All right, now we're switching the subject. I'm not talking
Sorry.
about.
Yeah. No, but the reason, so the James Bond thing, it's just the trend of going from these secret agents.
It'll wear out.
And yeah, eventually, I mean, you can only make so many superhero fucking movies. But I don't know. Look at Spider-Man. They've already done 8 of them.
Well, it's such a. I mean, there's so much history with the superhero movies. I mean, like I said, like back in like the 20s and 30s when they came out, and just now they're technically getting uber popular. I mean, who's to say it won't go for another 20, 30, 40 years?
God, I hope not.
What's your favorite genre movie, Danny?
If I have to pick one,
Yes. That's what I asked.
historical dramas.
Historical dramas.
Yeah, I like true stories like that are
300?
that's superhero-y. No, I like Dunkirk. That's going to come out. That's my favorite style movie. That
Oh, yeah, that looks
I literally have
awesome.
not been excited about any other movie this year
Unbroken?
except for Dunkirk.
Ooh,
Yeah, Unbroken.
Unbroken's good, too.
That one
What was,
didn't quite measure up to the book, but yeah, I love that idea though. I love historical. It doesn't have to be war, but just anything that's something that an era that's happened. Or just close enough. Like Game of
loosely
Thrones is
real.
close enough to being like medieval times.
Okay.
Yeah.
credibility out the window.
It's close enough.
It's
something believable.
with dragons.
Yeah. Never know.
Yeah, that's a good point. I
To
don't-
you, a snake probably looks like a dragon. So, you know.
to be fair, they're the closest thing to a
But
dragon.
they
that you'll
really
ever
are.
see. Yeah.
Komodo dragon.
Yeah. Anyways, what was that other movie? Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes.
That was
oh my
so
gosh. That was great.
Great historical. Trevor,
Yeah.
favorite genre?
Evil supervillain movies.
Only on the supervillains, no heroes.
When are the villains going to get their own movies?
Megamind.
Oh, I love that movie.
Yeah,
Actually,
that's like got you written all over it. Have you seen Megamind?
Yes, I have.
That's
I love the music intros it has, very elaborate, but he goes good at the end, so it kind of loses me halfway through.
super lame. When the villain becomes good and learns a lesson.
God forbid. That's
Pixar
like the
movies,
perfect
man.
movie for your children, so they don't completely turn out like you.
Well, it's funny because I was like, "Oh, you guys want to watch Make 'em Mine right now?" I'm like, oh, "Okay."
I'll just be in this room here watching TV then.
But I kind of like like an action drama. Like, I love action movies, without a doubt. I mean, obviously, I love superhero movies, but I kind of like anything dramatic. Like, not like mushy, I guess. I don't know.
It's so bad. I'm learning so much about Trevor and how much he likes villains in this right now. I was just thinking he's probably watching like those hour-long CSIs and just going, I hope he gets away. Fucking hope that guy gets away.
I'm not that bad.
I don't know.
Get away
man.
from that dork who takes his glasses off and says, we'll find him. You know, just get away from him. You can do it.
Just don't go
As long as
into
it's
the
not
obvious
murder.
room that everyone
Yeah.
thinks you're
Yeah.
in.
I did stop watching Dexter. I didn't finish that because, I mean, you would say Dexter is like the perfect character for me. I mean,
I
he's
love
a killer, but he's doing it for good.
Yeah. The Robin Hood of killers. The first few seasons of that show,
We're so good. And I just stopped midway through. I was like, okay.
I didn't want him to get caught, so that's why I stopped watching.
The Trevor complex, you know.
He's passing it on. That's his superpower.
You brought it up.
Mine is definitely horror, except for how horrible horror movies are now. But horror movies are they're the perfect movie because you can go to a theater and you get your money's worth, especially if you get scared. I mean, it was all worth it. You can't go watch a comedy in theaters. It doesn't do any different than if you're watching it at home. I'll never watch a
That's
comedy in
true.
theaters.
You get more of a thrill with action movies and horror movies
Yeah.
if you watch them in theaters. It's very true.
The feeling you get from a horror movie when you're sitting there freaked out. Like I remember, what was it? What movie did we all go see together, Trevor, in high school? It was
The Grudge?
Was it The Grudge?
I think so.
I think so. But I remember all the guys leaving the theater had their hoods on, zipped up as tight as they can. All wanted to go to the same house together because nobody wanted to go home alone. It was the silliest thing I've ever seen in my life, but it was hilarious. But they got their money's worth.
And-
$10 well spent.
Yeah, and speaking of superpowers, horror movies have some of the most ridiculous spiritual superpowers that you'll ever see. That's like we didn't even talk about that. But there's some of the weirdest shit in horror movies that you'll just go, how is that happening? How's that happening? You know, because that's another genre where anything can happen.
Yeah, straight up. And the cool thing, the trippy thing about horror films is how emotionally they affect you, because you think about it for like the whole day afterwards, or night, I should say, not so much the day. Or for Trevor, apparently weeks.
I remember watching Paranormal Activity, and I could not walk underneath like the little like vent to like your small little attic space.
Yeah.
It affected me for like a week.
Or like, what movie was it where I think it was Jesus, Danny. I think it was the.
You scared me, okay?
I think
You
it's
scared
the
me.
Grudge, the first Grudge, when she's like crawling down the stairs or whatever. So my sister, if you guys ever meet my sister RC, she has really thin black, or used to have really thin black hair, and she'd be able to pull her hair over her face,
Oh God,
like the Grudge or the Ring Girl.
that's a superpower.
And she's very thin. She's like 100 pounds tops.
Oh,
wet.
God.
105 soaking wet. And she would, God, I hate her so much. She would crawl into my bedroom
Oh
in the
my
middle of the
God.
night with the creaky arms and creak my bedroom door open. And she would make the noise and just torture me. Just night after night, and it would ruin me. And if she's listening to this, I freaking hate you, but it was the coolest thing a sister could possibly do for someone like me that loves horror movies. It's just, you don't know how many times I wanted to kick her in the face, but you don't know fear.
How'd you not?
You don't know fear until you're laying in bed at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night, then you got school the next morning, you're just trying to get comfortable, and then 15, 20 minutes later, you hear your door crack open, you look over, you just see this black hair in the pitch black dark. Oh, just thinking about it creeps me out. I fucking hate my sister so much for that. But if you hated it, Trevor, if you were staying the night and she did that shit to us, you would never, ever stay the night ever again. She could probably still do it to this day. I'll ask her next time we get to the family.
You like teleportation so much, it definitely stands to reason that you like horror movies too, because that is like the one thing that, for that reason, I'm out. I can just leave this place with teleportation. But also, that's what like every demon or bad entity or horror villain does. They're instantly behind someone at every turn.
Can someone explain that to me? And all the freaking like Jason movies and stuff, how do they just like? There's a girl sprinting into the woods, and then hey, behind the tree with my sword.
You know why? Because in video games, if you crouch and walk, you're super quiet. So they're crouch walking behind you.
And just silent walking through the forest.
Everyone else is just like, oh, I don't see this guy.
Standing straight up, like running, like, oh, I hear his footsteps. Then he crouches.
Yeah.
You can't hear nothing.
That's a good point. This was a good topic, I think. I think everybody enjoyed it. I would love to know what other people's superpowers might be.
Absolutely.
We should throw this on the Facebook for sure. If you had a superpower, what would it be? And possibly throw one more out there. If favorite movie genre.
Yeah.
Go hand in hand.
And would you use it for good or evil?
Oh,
Let's just
that's
stick
a
with
poll.
the superheroes for
Yeah,
sure.
that's a poll. We're definitely doing that. Would you use your superpower for good or evil?
That's all for today's episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast on SoundCloud or iTunes to get all updates on future content. And just remember, it's not important who's right or wrong, but it's always important to ask why.